Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a match between Maru and Time here on Ephemeron, the latter edition from the round of 16 for the WCS Global Finals, not at BlizzCon, but in Korea for the round of 16. Top left-hand corner is the red Terran player Maru, and in the bottom rightish it is the blue Terran player Time from China. So China versus Korea coming at you today on the channel. Have not cast a TVT in some time, or in a hot minute as the kids might say these days. Figured I'd go ahead and get one up on the channel for you, featuring Maru and featuring Time. Two excellent, like two really good Terran players, the highest of the highs. These are the best players from the GSL and from the WCS circuits. So I mean, anything from this entire series and this entire tournament, it's just going to be through the roof insanely good. Really looking forward to how this one works out. I think I cast a best of 5 between Maru and Innovation. Oh, last year, I want to say. That was a ton of fun. A lot of fun. I'm pretty sure Innovation won that, but I can't actually remember who came out on top. I remember a couple games that Maru lost where I was like, dude, what? That's kind of Maru for you. He's incredibly good. His ceiling is as high as anybody else in the entire game, but he has these brain fart moments where he drops games not because he got outplayed, but because he just drops the ball. So we'll see how this works out for him today against Time. Time's very capable of winning this series. Just want to point that out. He's making a Reaper, and Maru is not. Oh, yes, he is. He just got one started now. All right, so Reaper versus Reaper here. One's going to be named Freddy Krueger, the Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger haunted and killed his victims while in their dreams. One day, bored of just killing an Elm Street, he went into space, following humans' expansion into the stars. One day, Freddy entered into the mind of a man with a much higher body count than he has, Emperor Mengsk. Unable to cause the tyrant any fear, Freddy was dragged into the real world. He was sentenced to the Reaper program because Mengsk knew that nobody fears Reapers anymore. And the other Reaper here for Maru is going to be named the Conductor, the ever-salty bird filmmaker. The Conductor released his newest film, Murder on the Owl Express. Where are you, by the way? Here you are. This was the Conductor's 48th film involving trains. The Terran Dominion censorship board noticed the film used a magical, time-altering hourglass as one of the props. For the unsanctioned use of a time travel device and his repetitive film subject matter, the Conductor was sent to the Reaper program. So the question is, are we going to fight? I'd like to see a Freddy Krueger versus the Conductor fight here, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. They've each got their armies. I love the Hellion here from Maru. That bonus splash versus Reapers is really good, but coming up the ramp means you take the first shot, so going up a ramp is a bad idea. That's why everybody has the high ground right now, and TVT is just, it's TVT is what it is. Early game, pretty standard, hasn't changed since the last time I cast it, and as a result, we're just looking at pretty much samesies. Both players are, well, eventually we could get a starport here. Maru's really fast starport, by the way, because he didn't get the multiple barracks. Alright. So at some point, somebody's going to attack the other guy, and it's going to be great. Just not yet. So hit that like button if you enjoy seeing Maru versus Time, because it just helps me get visibility. And while you're watching, it's just easy. Easy as pie. Click done. Move on with your life. Never think about it again. So here comes Maru. Again, he had this army a minute ago. I'm not sure why he's waiting so long to do this. The bunker's going to help immensely here, and trying to hop up here is death. So the bunker means the Hellion can't really get much done. He knows that. The Hellion is like, oh, well, bunker's problematic. I love this Reaper skin, though. That is a really nice Reaper skin. That blue is fantastic. I still think the Reapers are burning their legs with the jets that are coming out of their backs, like, really badly. So, I don't know. I assume maybe they have some armor, some fireproof armor in there to help out. Medevac up. Loving that skin, too. Marines loading up. Wow, they almost look cell-shaded. Why do they look like Borderlands Marines? Because the outline. It's because they have the black outline on them. Dude, is that intentional? Are we Borderlandsing these guys? Cool. Alright, Maru decides after 4.5 minutes of posturing, it's time to go. Boy, that Reaper is dead. Sorry, the Conductor, you out. Alright, Freddy Krueger wins the battle. Can he survive the whole game is the question. The answer is probably not. So tank sets up, siege is up, Marines defending, bunker's in a lot of trouble. Maru gonna shut this sucker down. Trying to lock onto it, but no, gets chased away. Cyclone, nope, you're not finished. No, you're not saving it. You're not. Good try, though. Good repair, though. Good bam. Goodbye, bunker. Lock-on fight here, and it looks like Time's gonna win that fight. Nice breaking it though. Tank does siege up. Nice disruption. Interference though. Interference matrix means the tank can't fire, and that shuts down the attack. Good micro here from Maru. Really breaking the lock-on using the medevac here fantastically well. Army supply 22 to 16. Raven really useful. Defensive tank really useful here too. He's gonna take a shot from a defensive tank and be like, ow. Watch this. Ready? Fire. Okay, that's problematic. Giddy 8 charge is doing great, and now firing directly on the tank. The repair is real! And they save the tank. Everything from Maru dies. Lock on versus the medevac. Trying to get it. One more. Got it. Got the medevac, and I think Maru has to go home now. He wants that medevac for reasons. A couple SCVs died, but Time stayed alive, and that's really what matters. That was an intense 90 seconds right there. That is what I love about StarCraft, you guys, is the intensity of those 90 seconds. Maru could have won the game right there. He could have, but Time got a tank out in time, was able to save it with the repair, got the interference matrix out on Maru's tank, and called it good. So Maru going to take a third base. Probably up to the north there, going for stim, going for combat shield. Both players going for pretty heavy bio compositions here, although Maru is known for doing pretty much whatever you want. You can't sometimes put him in a basket of saying, oh, he's going bio or he's going mech. He will make everything. They go like Marine, Marauder, Hellion, Hellbat, Raven, Liberator, Viking, Battle Cruiser, Tank, and you're like, it's all of the units. Why did you make all of the Terran units? Well, all of them are good in their own ways, I believe is how Maru would explain it. Time decides it's time to put some pressure up on his Korean opponent up to the north. Does land a third base of his own, no problem. As a third base of Maru's lands just a couple seconds later, so no problemos. Oh, the interference matrix doesn't go down. Maybe it will now, though. I would honestly... Okay, auto turrets are good, too. Tanks fire. They do get one of the tanks there. Time's Raven gets interference matrixed with. Tank does go down after getting several kills. And Time's attack is fairly well shut down in exchange for a bunch of Maru's units and 4 SCVs, which I don't know if that was totally worth it in the end. We got to keep Maru on his toes, man. Can't let him sit back there and macro his face off all the livelong day. Got to make him do stuff. Stim just about done. There we go. From Maru. Really important upgrade here. So what are we looking at as far as compositions go? It's fairly heavy Marine tank medevac from Time. Pretty standard stuff. On the other side, Marine tank medevac. Also pretty standard stuff. With the exception of these Vikings that Maru has and the Raven. Which means he will be able to outrange the tanks of Time because he'll have that range upgrade in that vision. He's going to be able to see further than Time's tanks will. Benefit, I guess, is upper hand. What is the word I'm going for here? English is hard sometimes. Definitely can't drop this way. Maru has that on lockdown. The question is, where does Time want to attack in? Attacking into that tank's a bad idea. Sensor towers are up. TVT is so much about positioning. You will see more sensor towers in a TVT than you'll see in a week's worth of ZVTs. Or PVTs. Sensor towers, really good unit, but especially in this situation where if you unsiege your tanks at the wrong time, you just die. You need to know what's going on around you. I love that these medevacs are trailing. They do look like they're cell shaded. It is Borderlandsy. That black outline they have, I tell you. Yeah, see how these guys are more rounded? Well, hard to tell because they're running now. High ground advantage. Go. Alright, so Maru doesn't want to go up the ramp, which I can't necessarily blame him for. There's a tank waiting for him up there, too. Bring these Marines back home, I guess. And I guess trying to make sure that Time can't take a really quick fourth down here. Sure, that'll work out in the long run. +2/+2 on the way from Maru. Same story over on the other side from Time. Looks like Maru is tiniest bit ahead. Maru coming around the bottom side, but again, Time has an army ready to rock. He's not going to lose that. If there was nothing up this ramp and Maru was able to get up there, that'd be one thing, but that's definitely not what's happening here at all. So, looks like we're moving into a pretty standard Marine tank Viking style thing. The Raven staying alive is really nice for Maru because it doesn't look like Time bothered to replace his. No, he definitely did not. Maru setting up his tanks somewhere. Did he set up a tank somewhere? No, these were... Oh, my headphones are backwards. The stereo went backwards on them at some point. I don't know how. Maru might actually lose this command center. Oh, and these tanks. Pull the tanks back. Pulling the tanks back. SCV's getting massacred right now. Oh, gosh. All right, so the good news for Maru is he's going to win this engagement. But losing 12 SCVs and taking some damage to your command center is never a good thing. Maru coming back. He wants to intercept those medevacs as best he can. That's a nice place to hide, but there are Vikings chasing. Just kidding, there are no Vikings chasing. The Vikings have given up the chase. That medevac is dead. The other two might actually make it home. We'll have to wait and see. Army supply 108 to 111 in favor of Time right now. Worker count 73 to 60. And Maru is in a bit of a bind right now. He doesn't like where he is. Here comes nothing. Nice interference matrix on 4 of those tanks. Gorgeous. Allowing Maru to get his own tanks up in range. Resieging his own tanks, though. Viking versus Viking action. This is Wings of Liberty era stuff, guys. This is Marine... Marine tank Viking, just like we used to see back in 2010. Remember Steps of War? Who remembers Steps of War? A tiny, tiny map that made TVT insane. The two bases were so close to each other, comparatively. Anyway, here's your engagement of the day. Wow. All right. Who's going to win that thing? Time definitely forcing Maru back there. I have the high ground. Anakin, don't try it, I believe is what Time was saying there. Tank count is awful important in this situation, too. We're looking at 11 tanks to 8 in favor of Time. It's not a huge advantage, but it's very nice. Both players working on +2 attack for their tanks, so the advantage does not belong to anybody there. But 101 to 74 army supply in favor of Time right now is insanity. Yeah, Time wants to come up this ramp. If he can establish up here before Maru does. Oh, accidental engagement, and Maru does siege his tanks first there. The Marines are trying to take them down before they can actually get rid of the tanks, and they do a pretty good job getting rid of a couple of those for Maru. Time has a nice position, but he doesn't have anything buffering here. No Marines to buffer at all, or Maru is bringing those guys over. Army supply still favoring Time. Reinforcements are coming up from the south here to help with this. Engagement in the middle of nowhere is not really anybody's favorite thing in StarCraft. You really want to be engaging on top of another person's base or defending your own. Middle of the map engagements are very strange. Ah, I guess Maru is trying to expand here. Just saw that. All right, fair enough then. Maru going to hit on to this space as he goes for a quick 5th. Time does not have one of those yet, nor is he building one according to the production tab. Kind of thinking about dropping on top of these tanks, but the number is just too high. Maru patrolling his Vikings back and forth, showing their ridiculous turn radius for a plane. Ah, there we go. Time does have a 5th base. Was it here the whole time? Maybe it was. 3-3 on the way. Time's 3-3 is actually significantly ahead of Maru's. There's going to be a window where Time's bio is significantly stronger than Maru's is. We'll see if that comes into play or not. Often that window can pass without much happening, just because the players aren't usually aware of how far along somebody else's upgrade is. It's impossible, actually. Could make some assumptions, but... Oh, yeah, interference matrix on that tank, finishing it off. The other one going to die here, too. And these two are going to die. Time losing tanks here. That air is definitely supporting Maru right now. That air superiority is a big deal. Time knows he can defend this. He's going to send out another attack along the other side and try to get something done, but... Again, sensor towers means it is really hard to sneak anything in there. Maru coming in, trying to make good trades with his Vikings, doing fairly well for it. Oh, Time throwing away a bunch of Marines there. Dude, suddenly Maru has a bigger army supply. Interference matrix on that tank, and finishing it off with the attack. Time is trying to attack up and maybe take down that planetary fortress with his Marines. Hard to do, but not impossible. Repair is pretty good. Just kidding. Let's go after the non-planetary fortress. How does that sound? Sneaking on in. This is a problem. This is a real big problem. Never mind. Maru has a ton of Marines, and he does wipe that out. Nice work. In fact, trying to unload inside the main base right now. Not going so well for him. Maru's got defense everywhere. It pulled the entire army back, though, of Maru in time. Time was in a terrible position, and suddenly he's okay. Suddenly he's being given the time to reestablish his positioning, remake a whole ton of Marines. He's at 171 supply, making Liberators, Marines, and Vikings with advanced ballistics on his Liberators. I don't think Maru has any Liberators. Nah, man. Marine tank, 3 Ravens, Vikings. Let's call it good. Fusion core finishing up from Maru, though. Okay, so he is planning on taking up maybe 2 advanced ballistics or maybe the battle cruisers. Can be pretty good in TVT just because Marines aren't that great against them. In general. I mean, Marines are really great against most things in the sky, but battlecruisers just have so much armor, it's hard to chew through them with your Marines. Look at this. They look like they're from Borderlands? I gotta say, I think they do. This is TVT though, man. It is positioning, it is back and forths. It is tank versus tank. Maru taking another base at the top right. Time could probably take this base in the top or bottom left if he wanted to. Yamato cannon coming in. Alright, so Maru is making battle cruisers. Alright. I'm on board with this. Battle cruisers pretty good at breaking lines. You can motto down about 3 or 4 tanks at a time and then kind of move in with the rest of your army and win situations like that. See how that works out for him in the long run. Yeah, Maru pushing in against a couple tanks here. Nice anti-armor missile. Marines from Maru just crushing through this right now. Picking stuff out of the air. Liberators going down. That tank alive on the right side somehow. Reinforcements from Time coming in, though, and taking a couple of their tanks themselves. Time able to push that away, but I feel like that's a lot of dead stuff. But man, resources lost is even right now. It's 21,000 to 21,000, a difference of 200 resources. I mean, Maru has lost fewer resources than Time has, which is just, it's negligible at this stage. It's basically nothing. Both players going battle cruisers, actually, as Yamato's getting started from Time now as well. So we are looking for an interesting TVT, getting into the battle cruiser stage, which I know a couple of my subscribers have asked for in the past. Ellie in particular. If Ellie is watching, he's probably very happy about this. Hey, Liberator harass, top right. Takes out all 3 SCVs on gas. Maru replaces them instantly because he's a good player, and replacing workers on gas is an important thing to do. Liberator is kind of sneaking back in. Just going to deny gas on this entirely for about 4 seconds. Ah, fancy battle cruisers for Maru here. Like them a lot. It's kind of boring skin down here from Time. Yeah, that long skinniness. Looking good, guys. Looking real, real fancy. Gotta imagine that neck is the vulnerable point of a battle cruiser, right? You just, like, blew this up, everything dies. Pretty sure that's how that works. Time actually going for it, guy. He's like, hey, hold on. You're away from home. Let's do some damage with this army and make you come back. So that's exactly what Maru is doing. He's slow. Dang, Time. I don't know about this. He can get some stuff done here. Taking down, well, reactors, taking on tech labs, taking out battle cruisers as they jump out. Actually forced one of the battle cruisers to jump out, which is amazing. Overstimming a little bit here. Trying to split against the anti-armor missile. Trying to come up the ramp. Is that ideal? More interference matrix on the tanks. Can Maru get rid of this guy? A lot of his production is dead, though. Losing a bunch of barracks, losing a couple factories at the end of the day. Is he still doing this? Time is still doing this. Battle cruiser down, tank firing on stuff. 3 kills, 9 kills. Reactors getting wrecked here. Army supply 78 to 67, but these tanks are still doing things. They're killing Marines as they come out of factories. Vikings landing, well, barracks rather, and he does manage to stop it, but at what cost? At what cost? 2 barracks down, a factory down, 4 supply depots killed there, and a lot of units walking to their deaths as they came out. Time lost a bunch of stuff too, but I like the aggressiveness of that maneuver. That was really good stuff, and now Maru's actually lost 3,000 more resources than Time has. Total number of units lost. 5 battle cruisers have gone down for Maru. Are you kidding? Okay, 5 BCs down. Total number of tanks is somewhere here. He has lost tanks, 17 versus 22 for Time. But Maru's macro, I was going to say it seems better, but you know what? Time's down here now too. Trying to take down a planetary fortress. It's only really a fleet of Vikings that can stop this from happening, so that's a dead planetary. A couple tanks wandering over this way. Dude, I don't know about this SCVs. You're going to lose some of your own guys with the splash damage. All right. Or maybe not. Battle cruiser jumps in from Time, gets on top of those tanks. Oh, planetary fortress does go down. Yamato. Oh, no. Interference matrix stopping the Yamato spin up. That's huge. Anti-armor missile going down here. Has Time just won this game. Took out a base. Wiped out most of Maru's army, it feels like. Anti-armor missile helps the Marines deal with the battle cruisers a lot more easily. Look at the jump in, though. Look at the jump in on top of Time's battle cruiser. He's forced to retreat from that position. Gets Yamato'd and wiped out, and Maru does force Time back after losing that base. So that's a couple major engagements where Time has gotten some stuff done and then been pushed away. But 10 SCVs killed. Maru's down to 63 workers. He lost that base. Time expanded over on this right side 3 o'clock position while all that was happening because he is a really, really good StarCraft player. Bank looking pretty good for Time, about 600, 900. Not maxed out, though. TBT is one of these situations where maxed out is not necessarily the norm. There's a lot of attacking that's going on all the time. Upgrades we can see in the bottom here. It looks like Maru has a bit of an advantage, where he has the +3 vehicle attack, but Time with the +3 armor for his flying units and his mech. Army supply 98 to 68. Not a good place to be if you're Maru today. Yamato trying to take out a turret, but you know what? Well, I guess it burned down. Can't one-shot it, though. Does he have building armor? He does. Ah, that's why. It's like normally they one-shot turrets, but with building armor, a little bit tankier. Time scans to make sure that Maru hasn't taken that base, and he hasn't. He's taking the base that just died in the middle of the map here. But 120 to 89 supply is looking pretty favorable for Time right now. Oh, is he just giving up on that top base? Might just be giving up on that base, but at the same time also try to take out of a base of his own down south. Tit for tat, but you know what? Take down the planetary fortress, and Time responds. Anti-armor missile coming up on both sides right now. Chaos! And that's your good game. Time is your winner in 23 minutes and 46 seconds. Maru taps out. And that is a win for your Chinese Terran player today. Fantastic. Fantastic display of positioning and aggressiveness and just taking risks and having them pay off. That's what it was. Going into that main base was scary. I don't think I would have done that against Maru, but he managed to do it. Time managed to get in there, take out some production facilities, take out some units just popping out of buildings when they're at their most vulnerable. And yeah, remember how it was even on resources lost about 5 or 6 minutes ago? Now it's 45,000 lost for Maru and 38,000 for Time. Amazing. 24 tanks killed by Time and 25 killed by Maru. 62 SCVs down is a big deal there too. I mean, it's 2 planetaries and an orbital command. That's it. Time never lost a base. He defended exceptionally well. Positioning was great. Able to snipe that top right base and prevent Maru from taking out one of his own. Time was owning this game. He owned it big time. He got the victory. And I believe this put him up 1-0 in his best of 5 series versus Maru, which big surprises from foreigners today. Gotta say. All right, well, that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.